When my real estate agent first brought me to this property, it would have been easy to drive by it and not even see the entrance. But about 30 years ago, a logging crew had come in and cut the initial roads to get in. As we approached, we looked in, we could see the path that led in and up the mountain that would take us further and deeper in. Honestly, it was like stepping into a different world. Being in that forest, I was surrounded by nature, and I felt compelled to buy the property, and I was certain that I was going to do that. First, I needed to get my wife to come see it and verify that she'd be okay with it, and that's what I did. At the end of July in 2021, we came back, we liked it, Rachel was on board, and we put a bid on it. In September, I came back and I started working on the roads. I'm not trying to make light of this because it was obviously a big ask to have my wife come with me to move to Tennessee, but she'd always supported me in the past and she stood by me on this. Although she did give me the option of backing out if I wanted to at any point, and over the last few years she's continued to say that. But this has always been my dream, so I hope you'll join me on this journey as I learn new skills, build new things, try out new tools. It's a learning process, but one I'm truly loving.
Okay, so this is the approach to the entrance. I've done a little bit of trimming to make it easier to see how we're going to get in here. And there's the culvert, stretches over to there. And as you can see, we can go in. It's not graded yet. Equipment comes Monday. But I've been trimming and cutting back trees to make it more possible to drive my truck in here. And it's been a bit of a climb, but it's worked so far. As you can see, there's some branches in the burn barrel coming around the corner. There's my truck. It has been a work in progress. We have had a couple of days now, 2 days, to start getting things trimmed up and ready for the equipment, which is supposed to come on Monday. Keep tossing down wood from the hill so that I can burn it. Just keeping myself busy. As we come in past the back of the truck, we've got the rest of this road. Nice looking rock there. I've been trimming, cutting. Haven't quite gotten up this far yet with the truck. I think I'm gonna wait for the equipment before I try it, because it's so slanted and unstable. I just don't want to come up here yet. But I did widen out this path. This hill here had a bunch of trees on it. This was the road where it's green. This part where it's a little brown had a lot of trees in here. They're all off to the side now. Cool rock. We got some standing water here. I think this is a spring head. There's the road that goes up. Hard to see from this angle maybe. But we'll take this road here. I'm gonna grade it down a little bit and then turn it to go up this way and join into that road. This is where the trash pile was.
Now, right about now, you might be wondering how exactly I got here. Well, here's a little backstory. This is the ranch I sold in Florida that gave me the money to be able to buy my Tennessee property. And it was literally by the grace of God that this sold, because if I hadn't sold it within the 3 days that it was due to close, I would have missed my closing date on the property in Tennessee. And I was biting my nails at that right up until the very end. And it was kind of sad to see it go, because I had to lose my cows.
You know, it's funny when you think about all the work that went into this property. From clearing the land and removing all the palmettos, digging the ponds, bringing in 800 loads of dirt, more dirt coming in still, building the roads, putting in the well. Part of me is sad to see it go. Part of me is thrilled that somebody was willing to pay for this, but I thought it was worth so that I could get a deal on a piece of property in Tennessee that seems like a dream come true.
Okay, so now let's fast forward to September. I've closed on the property. I'm back up at the land. This is my second trip up to do some work. I brought some equipment with me, and I'm ready to get to work. And what happens to me then?
So as you can see, I got my scaffolding on the ground there. There's some pieces. And then I've got aluminum walk planks I'm going to lay over the top. And then I've got a tarp in my waterproof barrel and my equipment that I will soon be getting out of the weather. Okay, so here I am on my property. One thing I would say to you, if you're thinking about investing in raw land in eastern Tennessee, something I just discovered today, is that when it says 40% chance of rain, that probably means that the intensity of rain is 40%. So it's like a mild rain, not horrible, not like a downpour, but it's gonna rain. And I'm noticing that things grow here like crazy because there is so much water. And so dealing with water and understanding that there's going to be a water issue is probably something you want to take into consideration when building your roads. Gravel is not a leveling agent. You should have a level ground before you start. And then the other thing, and this is like jumping around a little bit, but once you get out here, the first thing you want to do is establish your roads. Try and get them graded so that they're accessible with a four-wheel drive at a minimum. And then the very next thing you'll want to do, because you're going to have equipment, is find a place to put it that's dry. Now you can either bring a trailer that's enclosed, which is a good option, or if you're like me, you don't have one, the next best thing is to do what I'm doing right now. And that is to construct a shelter. And what I'm using for my shelter, and if you can see it in the background here, is scaffolding. And so, let's see if I can back this up because I'm not turning my phone around. Is that? Yeah, there we go. There's the scaffolding. So it goes up quick, and I'm gonna have a tarp over it soon, and I'll post that along in a moment. Having fun. Okay, so here we are. Here's the shelter. It's not perfect. I got an old tarp from the dirt that was delivered to the property, but it's raining outside, and the only water that's falling in here right now is what was on the walk planks before I got them covered. So it's probably going to rain the rest of the day, but at least now I can put my equipment in here, and it won't get any more wet than it already is. Next step, grab a burn barrel, try and get a fire started. Now, since the rain's only surface wet on the dry wood that's out here, I should be able to do that. I shall post in a moment. Okay, so it's raining, and I threw some diesel in the bottom of this barrel on top of some twigs. And then I've been throwing newspaper in there and lighting it, and I think it's just starting to catch. Yeah, look at that. Who says you can't build a fire in the rain? Anyway, there's my shelter. It's a good thing I brought the scaffolding. I got the chipper and the plate compactor safely underneath the shelter, so it'll get dry. I got a couple of chairs. This one, not so wet. This one, completely soaked. So I might have a dry seat somewhere someday. But it is still very beautiful out here, even if it is raining. So, lots of thinning to do, lots of work to do, but it's coming.
Here's what my shelter looks like from a distance looking up the hill. With the arrival of my tractor and my excavator, it was time to use the box blade to start clearing the roads, or at least making them level. So I started at the top, worked my way down, and went back and forth. Unfortunately, my excavator is no longer working. It was delivered to the base of the mountain, and I was able to drive it up, and it smoked all the way up. I think it had a hydraulic leak. Where I parked it here is where it sat for the better part of a year. Well, that's all I've got for this video. I'm going to try and keep it short. I hope you'll hit the like and subscribe button, maybe the alert button. Please comment if you got any thoughts on how this is going. And if you get a chance, come back, check out the progress. There's a lot of things happening at this property. You get to see problems I've had with the tractor and learn about the project I promised my wife I would complete before I headed back to Tennessee.